Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now with the main headlines. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi remarks on knowledge of the Imams. Afghanistan's UN representative tweets concern over lack of legal protection for citizens' rights. Influx of Rohingya refugee arrival continues despite of risks and expenses. On the International Human Rights Day, the World Shirazi Foundation warns major powers of consequences of their policies. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers. This is Yunus Dawood and you're watching Shia Waves live from London, only on Imam Hussein TV 3. The daily scholarly meetings of Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq al-Hussein al-Shirazi was held on Sunday, the 25th of Jamad al-Awwal. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi discussed the knowledge of the infallible Imams alayhum salam. Let's watch the statements of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi.
علم داشتن سالم میمونه، اما علمم داشتن که یه جای خود امیرالمؤمنین فرمودن لولا آیت فی کتاب الله، چون یمحو الله ما یشاء و یثبت. اونو دیگه خود خدا تنها میدونه که تو دعاها و اینام اومده استأثر الله به علمه. تو این دعای احتجاب داره که استأتن جا یکشم دعای احتجاب استأثر الله به علمه، یعنی یه چیزایی رو لم یخرج منک الا الیک، از خدا خارج نشده، خدای عزوجل خاص برای خودش قرار داده. و فضیلت برای اینکه خب ممکنه خدا اینی که تقریر فرموده که حضرت امیر کشته نشن ممکنه خب عوض کنه خدا، پس ممکنه کشته بشن. و حضرت امیر و بقیه معصومین علیهم السلام اون علم خاص به خدا رو ندارن.
The acting representative of Afghanistan at the United Nations stated on World Human Rights Day that there is no legal protection and safeguard for citizens' rights to life, freedom, personal security and privacy. Nasir Ahmed Faiq mentioned that for the past 2 years, women and girls have been deprived of their right to education and the right to work. In a separate message, the United Nations Political Mission in Afghanistan, the UNMA, has called on the Taliban to embrace human rights obligations as the cornerstone of a peaceful and a stable future and to support these rights. The UNMA stated that despite security improvements since August 2021, the human rights situation in Afghanistan remains grave. Rohingya refugee arrival continues despite risks and expenses. Around 1 million mostly Muslim Rohingya refugees have fled to Bangladesh, and from there thousands risk their lives each year on long and expensive sea journeys to reach Malaysia or Indonesia. However, many locals in host countries have voiced serious concern. More details in the following report.
2 boats carrying nearly 400 Rohingya Muslims, including women and children, arrived at Indonesia's northwestern province of Aceh on Sunday morning after being adrift for weeks, adding to a recent surge of Myanmar's Muslim minority arriving in the country. Prior to Sunday's arrivals, the United Nations Refugee Agency said that 1,200 Rohingya people, a persecuted minority from Myanmar, had landed ashore in Indonesia since November. Passengers in most boats need to survive on scarce food and water, enduring the long atrocious journeys at sea for up to 45 days, while paying high fees as much as $360 to escape Bangladesh. For years, Rohingya have left Buddhist majority Myanmar, where they are generally regarded as foreign interlopers from South Asia, denied citizenship and subjected to abuse. About 740,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled to camps in Bangladesh since August 2017 following a brutal counterinsurgency campaign. Most of the refugees leaving by sea attempt to reach Muslim majority Malaysia in search of work. Since November, more than 1,500 Rohingya refugees have arrived by boat in Indonesia's Aceh province. Some were denied landing by the residents in Aceh Utara district and Samang Island, sparking concerns from human rights organisations. Indonesia, where Muslims comprise nearly 90% of the country's 277 million people, is not a signatory to the 1951 United Nations Convention on Refugees, but has a history of taking in refugees when they arrive on the country's shores. Local authorities and residents have been rejecting the Rohingya, threatening to push them back to sea. The local government in Pede said earlier it would not take responsibility for providing the refugees with tents or basic needs. They said they would not bear any expenses and that no shelters were available, according to VOA. President Joko Widodo said Friday that relief would be provided for refugees temporarily with a priority on the interests of the local community. He accused a human trafficking network of being behind the rising number of Rohingya refugees reaching his country by boat, vowing to take strict action against the perpetrators. Reporting Aruj Fatah Malik for Shia Waves.
Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi remarks on the knowledge of the holy Imams. Afghanistan's UN representative tweets concern over lack of legal protection for citizens' rights. Influx of Rohingya refugee arrival continues despite risks. Also tonight, the UN warns of gloomy humanitarian situation worldwide in 2024, seeking to raise about $46 billion US. On the International Human Rights Day, the World Shirazi Foundation warned of the consequences of the policies of greed, ambition, and racism, and the practices that follow from negative discrimination. These policies have contributed and to continue and to create suffering for wide and diverse social groups in the international community, resulting in serious violations that rise to the level of international crimes. The organization confirmed in its message that the monopolization of power and wealth, dictatorship, oppression, forced disappearances, executions, and costly wars have expanded beyond imagination in the past 2 decades. Now we'll continue with some short news. The 8th International Arabic Book Fair kicked off in Istanbul on Saturday with around 150,000 titles amid the dominance of developments in the Gaza Strip over the fair's event. This year's edition came under the slogan Arabic Unites Us. The fair is organized by the International Association of Arabic Book Publishers in Turkey. According to the organizers, more than 250 publishing houses representing 30 countries worldwide around the world are participating in the fair to showcase more than 150,000 titles. The fair will run for 9 days between December the 9th and the 17th of 2023. An attack by the Sudanese army on a humanitarian convoy of the International Committee of the Red Cross, the ICRC, in the Sudanese capital has killed 2 people and injured 7. The wounded included 3 ICRC staff members. The Red Cross added in a statement on Sunday, noting that the 3 ICRC vehicles and 3 buses were all clearly marked with the Red Cross emblem. It is reported in the hadith that the death of a scholar is a loss that cannot be replaced as for long as the day and night alternate. The funeral procession of the Husseini orator, Sayyid Muhammad Baqir al-Fali, may Allah have mercy upon him, will be carried out in the holy city of Najaf on Tuesday the 27th of Jumad al-Awwal, 1445 after Hijrah, corresponding to the 12th of the 12th of 2023, at 10:30 a.m. from the Tusi Mosque towards the holy shrine of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. On the same day at 2:30 p.m, the funeral will be taken to the holy city of Karbala, where the procession will begin at Al-Qibla Street near the shrine of the scholar of Ibn Fahid al-Hilli. It is worth mentioning that the late Hujjat al-Islam wal-Muslimin, Sayyid Muhammad Baqir al-Fali, passed away on Sunday morning, December the 10th, in one of the hospitals in Tehran. On this occasion, Al-Rasul Al-Akram Institute and Imam Hussein Media Group issued separate statements to extend condolences on the demise of this powerful orator. Total dengue cases reported in Sri Lanka so far this year surpassed 80,000, according to the latest statistics released by the National Dengue Control Unit, or the NDCU. On Sunday, the NDCU said 80,192 cases had been reported as of Sunday, 3,704 of which were reported in December alone. According to the statistics, 47 people have succumbed to the disease. A blast hit a police vehicle in Pakistan's southwest Balochistan province on Sunday, leaving one policeman dead and injuring 2 others. The blast took place near Sultan Ibrahim Chowk area of Kuzdar district of the province, killing a station house officer of the counter-terrorism department, the CTD. On the spot, the local police authorities have also confirmed it. The United Nations warned on Monday of a gloomy humanitarian situation in the world in 2024 due to the continuation of conflicts and climate conditions, calling for the need to raise about $46.4 billion to address its effects and repercussions on vulnerable groups. At a time when the international attention is focused on the war between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip, the United Nations pointed out that the Middle East region and countries such as Sudan and Afghanistan are among the troubled areas that need major humanitarian operations. However, the UN agency has reduced the amount required for annual support and the number of people it hopes to help next year after a decline in donations. With less than a month to go until the end of 2023, it is likely that this year will be the first since 2010 in which total financial commitments will decline compared to the previous years. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our debuts of today's headlines. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi remarks on knowledge of Imam. Afghanistan's UN representative tweets concern over lack of legal protection for citizens' rights. An influx of Rohingya refugee arrival continues despite risks and expenses. On the International Human Rights Day, World Shirazi Foundation warns major powers of consequences of their policies. And the UN warns of gloomy humanitarian situation worldwide in 2024, seeking to raise about $46 billion. You can view the latest news on Shia's website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Contact us on the numbers at the bottom of your screen. This is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching, and we pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
عشق اول و آخر من